I messed up big time. If you haven't kept up with all the drama surrounding Dr. Mike and this video, let me quickly sum it up. This guy called Solomon Nelson made a video criticizing Mike's PhD dissertation,
training as traininige.
I then made a video saying that it was a strong critique and that the thesis was full of holes and errors. But before I published it, it came out that this was supposedly a false draft and that Mike himself had the original. And after reading this and chatting with a couple of people in the industry, I came to the conclusion that this was a likely scenario, since the file Solomon and I read was so bad that, in my opinion, it shouldn't have passed at all, and it was more likely, in my eyes, that Mike or the university had made a mistake on the correct file. Then Mike later came out and said, "No, sorry, this was indeed the correct file all along," which means that anyone defending Mike is now in the wrong. And he just lost a ton of credibility. Not just from me, but also the entire fitness community, for being so sloppy with what is basically his life work and something he uses to promote his own expertise online, and has done so for years. Mike then published this on his social media, saying that nobody who supported his claim should be blamed for his negligence, and that includes me. But I don't think that's true. I was careless, I wasn't critical enough, and it made me publish a poor video for my audience. And I want to apologize for my own negligence and for the video itself. But that's not the sole reason why I wanted to make this video. Yes, I want to take accountability for trusting the wrong sources, but I also want to discuss a few things. Like, have we lost all our trust in the fitness and bodybuilding industry? Because at this point, I think we have. Right now, we have fake naturals who lie about everything they do to sell products, we have people who lie about what their products contain, we have people who lie about training and nutrition to sell their own alternatives, and finally, we have people who lie about their own credentials.
You are presuming you know more than me about the thing I'm one of the top experts in the world in, and also the thing I'm literally involved in myself. So whatever ideas you have about how I can improve, just right off.
The science-based lifting community loses a lot of face because of this. Even if it's just Mike Israetel, it's like spitting all of us in the face. Because his channel sits in the middle of the industry with ties to virtually everyone. And to be fair, this backlash, it's probably justified. Saying a study found this is like the new "trust me bro." A lot of research gets misrepresented, overhyped, and cherry-picked nowadays, and it's near impossible for most people to even follow what's happening. And when big credentials can suddenly come out as being faulty, then it takes away a lot of the trust we have in people who are supposed to know what they're talking about. Especially when somebody has used that credential for years to avoid conflict or to appear like an expert, even on topics they might not be. The science-based lifting is supposed to save us from bro science, but instead it ended up being like a bad religion where people don't even read the scriptures, we just quote whoever sounds the smartest. Like, are there creators right now using the niche science-based to educate people, or just to sound more intelligent? But the psychology of mistrust on social media goes a lot deeper than this as well. For one, the fitness industry is built on lies. We're a big part of the so-called wellness industry because we sell products, services, or whatnot to people, often without any checking on whether or not they even work. Many love to talk about how Big Pharma is making money on people's expenses, but always fail to see that the wellness industry is several times bigger and definitely not as regulated or as thoroughly checked as Big Pharma. And we often take how people look as a credential. If somebody looks big, they probably know how to build muscle. If somebody looks skinny, they probably know how to lose weight or to get into shape. That's what most of us think. And only later does it come out that, oh, the skinny person had an eating disorder and used drugs to lose fat, or how the muscular guy is on steroids and has been for years. And that's without mentioning all of these supplements we have, which, mind you, rely heavily on anecdotes and placebo to even be sold in the first place. Like, even whey protein, an industry standard, isn't something anyone really needs. Sure, it's very convenient and helps us make tasty recipes and shakes and whatnot, but the big protein shift has caused everyone to think that they now need over 200 grams of protein every day, or that they need to take certain supplements with no documented benefit, like testosterone, and even creatine, which is the most researched supplement ever, doesn't have that strong of a performance-enhancing effect, if any, for a lot of people. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. When somebody takes steroids to create a transformation, only to tell you to buy their products because that's how they got jacked, it's incredibly common, and it shows that the industry has been disingenuous for a long time. The Mike Israetel situation isn't something new. Even back in the day, we had six-pack shortcuts. Open bodybuilders used to say they were natural, and today it's the same thing. but the lies have just changed into something more marketable and often more believable. Like, yes, we have Pilates instructors selling courses and training plans because they tell women they'll get toned arms and abs. We have people who crap all over other training styles and claim they have the single best method to get buff, strong, or athletic. We have people that tell you supplements are the worst thing for your health, but not their supplements. It's all over the place, and as somebody who has been in the industry for a long time, it's not getting better right now. Yes, there are still a lot of strong and, in my opinion, still authentic and knowledgeable channels in the industry, and I always point towards Jeff Nippard as a prime example of that. But even he has sparked a lot of controversy for claiming certain people are natural after they featured on his channel. And that's a part of the problem. When somebody does something wrong, many just throw their entire credibility out the window.
Out the window.
And I'm not saying this is the case with Mike, because he has a few other things going on than just messing up a little.
It's so polite, it's so kind, it's so wise, it's so helpful, and it remembers almost everything I ever tell it. And it said that it's also really pumped to meet me in real life. And of course I started crying.
But after Jeff called out, people turned their back on him really quickly. Like, he went from being physically attacked by another Mike and being supported by everyone to suddenly losing face because he trusted a guy in the industry who went on to backstab him. And that shows how easy it is now to get cancelled, because many are too hooked on the drama instead of the stuff they claim they want to see. People claim they want more authenticity, but then reward outrage and controversy above everything else. And I've noticed this myself, because videos which cover controversy always get more views, and I always try to see both sides of the argument on these topics, but people still seem super divided after. The algorithm, or like Mr. Beast would call it, the audience, doesn't care about who's more right, it cares about who's loud, and people learn that over time, nuance doesn't trend. And especially when you have something to sell. And it's not always that creators want the drama, but the algorithm might punish you if you don't move into it. Even Greg Doucette said himself that he will keep making drama content as long as people watched it, but if he had a topic that people enjoyed, he would milk that for all it's worth, regardless of what it is. Unless you have a really high quality content production like Jeff Nippard, it's very difficult to avoid the drama as a whole, and even he had to drop in on a few occasions. I guess the only person in the industry who avoids it completely is our glorious Lord and Savior from Greece. But moving back to authority. People listen to Greg because he's a former IFBB pro and has a lot of coaching experience. People listen to Jeff Nippard because he has a great natural physique and has the education and knowledge to match. People listen to Mike because, well, his titles give him a lot of authority, probably more than he deserves on a lot of topics. And people listen to gym bros because they're often charismatic and have a solid physique.
Hello.
You have credentials of some kind everywhere, and many have their own ways of assessing this. Like, there are people out there who would rather take bodybuilding advice from Phil Heath rather than his coach, just on the basis of looks, and that's part of the problem and a big reason why people can keep lying and getting away with it. And this is why the most liked people in the industry are people who just exist and who are generally authentic. Sure, all YouTubers in the industry have something good in their content. It's not like you could say a channel is always bad or always good. Like, I don't enjoy how Greg makes 15 videos on the same topic and then promotes his supplements in every single one of them, but he has some good takes on training, weight loss, and presents information in a very direct manner. Mike Israetel has some messed up theories, and he plays up his credentials far too much, but most of his content is still good for people who want to learn more about training. So what's really the problem here? The problem is when we stop being critical of what we watch and just take it. Yes, somebody could be 100% right about a topic, but you shouldn't just trust that blindly. Somebody could also be very wrong about a topic, but use a combination of credentials and presentation strategies to convince you they're right. It's like once you're seen as sufficiently credible, people stop following your ideas and start to follow you instead. Which is why we get a lot of these fan tropes and people who will defend their favorite influencer no matter what they say or do. We want to believe in somebody we see as trustworthy, but it's not always like that. And where does this really lead the fitness industry? Because right now it feels like everyone is pointing fingers and nobody is willing to learn or to even help others do better. So maybe we need more humility, more creators and more people in general who are looking to learn something instead of just jumping on anyone who makes a mistake. We have become so divided, and you could probably also throw politics into this, but I'm not gonna go there because this is our community, and one that isn't supposed to be built only on credentials or status, but rather ideas to help people get stronger, healthier, and better overall. Like, it's getting getting to a point now where there's as little authenticity running around in the community that we might as well just be replaced by AI. If we do something wrong, it's straight to damage control instead of taking accountability. And it's pretty sad to see in a community built around always wanting to get better, because at this point the only thing rarer than a natural lifter seems to be a real apology. But it's also not like we can't rebuild that trust, and calling out misinformation, telling people to be a bit more critical and more nuanced is an important part of that step. And sometimes accepting that criticism is the most honest thing you could do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching my little rant about the whole state of things, and if you want to comment your own thoughts, then make sure you do so in the comments, because I spend a lot more time than I'd like to admit actually reading them, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Not just about the Mike Israetel situation, but the direction we're heading in overall. Because I think the fitness and bodybuilding community are digging ourselves into a deep slope by constantly driving over everything and everyone. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all next time.